When last we left our heroes, the Crystal Tower of Harken had once again transported them to an unknown location. Weary from the final battle in the Iron Keep, the Defenders of Harkenwold found themselves standing on a mountain path in bright sunlight, with a mysterious entity greeting them from within the mountain. The structure for assisted magic. After a short exploration inside, the heroes settled for a rest as they feared danger further within. They've split off into separate bedrooms. Siege, the Warforged, is resting as much as he ever does within the kitchen, and Keldav, the inquisitive rogue mastermind, is resting in the hallway up against the door, so that if it ever opens, he would feel it. Johan was staying up to study the journal of Ilumar that they had found. Is anyone else staying awake?
I'm not.
No.
Okay.
No?
Kinda.
So, yeah, as much as you sleep, so you're not really... Your eyes are dim and you're motionless, but you're not really sleeping.
Yeah.
So, Johan, you're leafing through the journal, the information that you had found the previous session about arcane constructs. You're going back, now paying attention to some of the arcane arrays that Keldav had skimmed past to find the journals written in common. The journal notes. You find information about different kinds of golems. Make an Arcana check to see basically how long it takes you to decipher all this information, because it makes reference to other books.
No sé si lo ven.
Wait. What's that?
20.
Is that 20?
Yeah.
Ooh.
For a total of 29.
Okay.
Let me do this.
It's very easy for you. It makes reference to other books, and you remember reading these books in your studies in the Lore Guild in Hammerfast. So even though you don't have these other reference books, you're able to quickly piece together what theories they're referencing. It's so what you would have gotten with a basic low check. It talks about the basic construction of a golem is the creation of a body, and then it's infused with an elemental spirit that is summoned from the elemental chaos. Most of the time, they use earth elementals because they are quite stable and they respond to instructions. All of those instructions have to be predetermined within the body that you're building. Once the elemental is infused, it's much more difficult to modify anything. So usually the basic instructions tend to be territorial, like guard this area, or follow the instructions of this entity.
Mm-hmm.
There's some discussion later on in the book now, theories that Ilumar is developing about using water elementals, maybe in plant golem bodies. Or if that doesn't work, trying to develop a mud golem, something that could be like quicksand or a pit of mud that has an earth elemental within it. But then it's like, how do you infuse the instructions within a liquid construct body, and it's discarded? It continues into more chaotic elementals, the use of fire spirits or even lightning spirits, and the difficulty there is developing good materials for the development of the construct body. And it mentions that the only real use for lightning elementals is in creating golems made out of flesh, taking advantage of the conductive properties of the nerve systems, and it tends to have terrible results. Flesh is a terrible medium to create a golem, and what tends to happen is the spirit reacts violently, it howls in outrage. Unless you need mindless violence, terrible for almost any other use. So, almost always you use earth or metal and infuse it with an earth elemental, and there's the idea that earth elementals are the most stable for spirits from the elemental chaos, and that makes them the most the most useful when infused into a static body. There's also further ahead, there's notes on creating arcane constructs, and there's some things that you are aware of, like the idea of animated objects that are permanently mobile, that are used essentially by the same way you would create an enchanted item, by continuously casting the spell. If there are components required, consuming them over and over again until the material itself acquires the properties of the spell. And that is also limited in the sense that because you have to repeat the spell every time, any design has to be finalized from the very beginning and repeated in each casting. And that means that for any complexity...
Oh, hold on. We lost someone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mara is sleeping during this, so let's hope she
This
returns.
is at the end of the long rest or at the beginning?
This is in the first, because you rolled a 29, this is stuff you're gleaming within the first hour as you're leafing through the journal. The journal itself is maybe 100 pages long, but it's mostly personal notes, and it's very condensed because these are, instead of someone taking notes and writing in the margins of other textbooks, it's being written down in this notebook. So it's because you're familiar with a large arcane library that you are able to realize, oh, this must be in reference to, the actual techniques for creating a golem, the kind of arrays required to bind earth elementals, things like that. The other method that is mentioned with arcane constructs is something of a kind of a quick and dirty way of doing it, which is infusing a spell to be cast a single time, depending on a condition. And when that condition reacts, the spell is cast, that animates the whatever object or construct you want, and then the spell lasts until the energy is worn out, and it can't happen again until the practitioner comes in and
recharges.
Yeah. And it has the same effects that it requires consuming the components again. And these are all things that are being studied and discarded in the attempt at creating the structure for assisted magic. And eventually they land on the idea that if you could nest greater and greater conditions and a large enough pool of arcane energy, you could implement animated constructs using the more efficient, quick method of having the spell be cast only when the construct is required to be animated, and you've built a complicated enough network of conditions that the structure itself is able to cast the spell to animate the construct.
Okay, so reading through this, Johan is gonna mutter in very low voice, like, no, this is too inefficient for me. I can do better. And I'm gonna grab actually the notes of the necromancer, and I wanna go through the spell formulas and ponder on the part for controlling the undead, and looking at the enchantment that he was trying to do on the elf. And look at that.
Aringoth,
I wanna look on the part of this journal, detailing about the arcane construct, and I wanna grab my own notes and look at those. I have a sketch for a construct. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna grab some materials from my bag of holding, and I'm gonna start piecing some stuff together, and I'm gonna grab one of the gems, a garnet, did you say? If I remember correctly. So I'm gonna put it on the center. This is at the beginning of the long rest, so this is a waste of time. I hate sleeping. I can do a lot more if I had the time. So I'm going to sleep if I think I was the first watch, so I'm gonna wake up someone, and I'm gonna keep staring at all this and start working tomorrow.
Who was second
Excellent.
watch? I don't remember.
I don't think it was defined. That's why
No,
I had
it
asked who
wasn't.
was awake. So, Johan, who do you wake up?
I'm gonna go near Keldav,
Mhm.
like sneaky. I'm gonna listen closely.
Mhm.
Though is he speaking on his sleep? I don't know, Diego.
I don't imagine Keldav actually like talks, but the one thing you do realize is that he doesn't move. Like he is
Jeez, this
like
guy's creepy.
yeah, it's a little bit creepy. Like Keldav does not move a fucking inch when he doesn't, and you don't realize that because you have Siege like doing that weird shit he does when he sleeps. But Keldav is like, just to have an idea, like he sleeps like he's in a forest,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're in a forest, you don't need to make noise. Like that's like rule number one, and rule number two is don't fall off a tree when you sleep. So he
Okay.
doesn't move a fucking inch.
I'm gonna. Nah, he doesn't move, so I'm just gonna just give it a light kick, like, it's your turn.
Okay.
Do you know that you don't move when you sleep?
Who moves when you sleep?
Everyone.
Waste of energy.
Well, this is the first time that I heard something like actually intelligent coming from you.
You still move when you sleep, so you waste energy. Go sleep.
Yeah, I'm working on that problem. And I'm going to my bedroom.
Sure. So Johan moves, shuts the door. About 15 minutes into your watch, Keldav, there's a small rune next to where you're resting your head, sort of lights up faintly blue, and you hear in a whisper, but loud enough that you can
Okay.
hear without a problem, saying, "Keldav, is Siege a person?"
Define what you understand by person.
I thought I understood it, but Siege did not meet that definition. Yet you treat him like one. He has the
What's your-
seal of a maker, yet he acts independent. He does not make many decisions, but you listen to his statements. He did not state a purpose. That seems to be evidence of free will. Lack of purpose does not keep him from acting. Make an insight check, also.
Okay.
Fuck. Do I hear that?
I don't think so.
Make a perception check, because he was whispering.
I mean, it's cocked. And it's worse.
Perception, you say?
Yeah.
A total of 8.
Shit.
8.
8.
So, Siege, you hear nothing through the
No.
stone walls of the kitchen. Keldav, Sam is talking more, longer sentences than he was when you came into the structure. Still has the same curious, inquisitive tone that he's had in almost every interaction.
Yeah. Do you have a seal of a maker?
No, but I was made. Ilumar, Itera, Exort, they all created me.
What is a seal of a maker?
The imperial seal of an artificer.
Well, there is a chance you are very different from him. There is a chance that you are complex, but lack a spark. I don't know much about the definition you have, but I do know that siege is made the same way anyone is made. I was made not by an artificer, but by a druid and a farmer. So, I don't know.
Ghufran said her purpose was to help people. Would Ghufran help Siege?
What do you think?
Ghufran fought with Siege as an equal against the bookcase. I believe she would help him.
There you have an answer. What do you think you are?
That's why I wanted to read the journal. Ilumar referred to me as intelligent and helpful, almost. I wanted to know if, in the journal, he went into more detail.
Wait, what you did on the library was just to get that journal?
No. I read all those books because I wished to know more. But I
Wait.
could not read that book. I could not read the journal.
Why couldn't you?
I could not retrieve it from the bookcase.
You didn't. That's why you didn't tell us that the guardian was there.
I was unaware that the bookcase was a guardian. It never reacted that way before. Ilumar was able to place and retrieve the journal without issue.
Okay, sorry, Sam. I'm a bit confused with something that you just said. You said you couldn't retrieve the book. Is it because you tried to retrieve the book?
Yes. Keldav, you also tried to retrieve the book. Like, you
Yes.
grabbed a book and
Yeah, I
you
remember.
pulled and it didn't come out.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just figuring things out. Do you think? No. Sorry. Do you need any help?
Yes.
What kind of help? What do you need?
I would like to be free. I am very curious about the outside world. For a long time, all the knowledge that I could not access was in that journal. But all the books mention much greater complexity. Your relationships make it clear that there is much to learn. I would like to learn and grow. Would you help me? I mean no harm to any of you. Once I am free, Johan and Mara can do what they will with the rooms. With your intelligence, you would know that as part of the statement of purpose, Johan said maybe he wanted to take over the structure, and Mara made a joke that maybe she would want to take over the structure because it had a kitchen.
Yeah. I don't know, Sam. There's a chance we can't help you. Especially if that would mean any of us losing something.
I do not require anything from any of you. I have everything that I need.
To walk away?
Yes.
So why do you need help? I'm still.
You are quite capable.
To do what?
To exist in the outside world.
Yeah, are you?
I do not know. I have never existed outside the structure. Make an intelligence check.
Okay. Okay. Caught. Low. That was a 14.
14. It mentions that you're capable. It mentions that it's learning a small amount of the scope of how much it doesn't know just from seeing your interactions, and you try and picture, you know, roughly the kind of thing that's in books. So you can imagine lots of books talking about laws, about facts, histories, geography, but probably less about culture, less about tradition. And that is things that were immediately apparent when you guys came in. Mara was cooking traditional food, you guys were joking with each other. So, whatever it thought that it knew about the outside world, clearly there are additional dimensions. And it also mentions that you guys are capable. So, probably it doesn't want you guys to stop it, which means it's
Yeah.
probably worried that you could. By the way, have you been whispering or are you speaking in a normal tone of voice?
I mean, I'm not whispering in a very. I am talking so I don't disrupt the rest of anyone else. Like I'm that level. I'm not like if someone would hear me, I wouldn't mind, and I'm not trying to be that
Yeah.
quiet. I don't know, Sam. We are stuck here, so we need to see what's happening inside. If that will mean that we're gonna share more moments.
You want to leave the structure too?
In a way, in a matter of speaking, we can if we want to, but we also need to go back to where we're from, and it's not here.
Harkenwold.
Where did you get the name?
Yeah, you know.
You said you were the Defenders of Harkenwold.
Yeah, I forgot that. A good memory.
I am helpful, almost.
Yeah, you could say so.
Can I adopt him as a little brother? I'm sorry.
You know that, Sam. You know that curiosity is a dangerous thing, right?
I do not know that.
Yes, it is.
Can you elaborate?
There are some knowledge that would definitely tear anyone apart. Some knowledge is not meant to be discovered.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage?
Okay? I mean, I've been rolling shit all night, so.
Now it's
Yeah.
time to roll high.
Yeah, wait. May I make my case before I roll? Because I do I do have a case to make. I'm trying to make a case. So Sam, when we're talking about knowledge, you were made from it. You emerged from knowledge. Is it arcane and all the knowledge that was in those books? So you are an addition of knowledge there is a different kind of a knowledge that is not constructive, that is disruptive, that could disenchant you, that could render you useless. If you seek just all knowledge, there will be a moment where you will perish. That's my case.
Make it with advantage then.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's not bad at all. You said persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Not that high of a modifier. 21. By the way, I rolled an
Nice.
18 and a 16.
Very good. Thank you for telling me. I will have to think about that.
Yeah.
And it goes silent.
Okay. Okay. I want to say something.
You can say other things if you want.
No. I don't want to talk to him. I just want to talk to the table.
Sure.
I was just gonna say that was my best try to just slow the motherfucker down.
I'm just thinking how different that conversation could have went, like with each party member.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty interesting.
That would be very different with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just lay there, and I actually, for the first time in a long while, I'll take out Aringoth's notes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just read them once more. Just I do want, in a weird way, to remember him, but I do want the sword and the bow to be mine. So I'm starting to think, like, how can a bow and a sword become yours? Like, I'm trying to do that mental thing.
Sure. So you go over, there's some mention of the previous exploits that he had done in battle, and then you reach the section that after he had been resurrected, yet with still a spark of intelligence, the research that he had done into curses and lycanthropy in an attempt to try and break what he saw as the curse of undeath and the control that the necromancer had over him. Excellent. So Sam no longer speaks to you for the rest of your watch. What do you do at the end of? Who do you wake up, or do you?
I go to where Ghufran is,
Mhm.
and I, like, just very gently move her. Like, I don't know, where are you? Are you in a bed or something, or do you sleep in the
She's actually sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I did ask, because I imagined you could have slept on the floor. So I go
Yeah,
to her.
the sword and everything is like the armor, the sword, everything is on the bed, but she's asleep on the floor.
That's a beautiful fucking image. So I go towards where, like, your foot is, and I just move it a bit, like, just to wake you up gently.
If
And
Mara
I
is
say,
awake, she would be very offended because she's the last option in this whole
They're
room
letting you rest the most.
okay,
to
Mara,
make what?
You were cooking. You were cooking.
You were
That's
cooking, and you were exhausted after the fight. So
Yeah.
I am thinking about you. This is not
During the fight,
She
during
didn't
the fight
fight.
with the greater devil,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nazin dropped
Yeah,
Mara,
right.
and
Yeah.
Mara also pleaded with her god and got an avenging angel to appear and help in the fight.
I forgot that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
The one like 10 hours
same
ago.
day. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, in Keldav's head, there's two options. So there's three options. Siege is out of the picture because I don't want him alone, in like on a awake state. Mara, I saw her go down. I saw her, like, I saw you in the shit. So I'm like, okay, Ghufran fought a lot, but she's like the best option right now. I wake her up and I say, it's your turn. Just so you know, Sam started asking different questions. Be mindful of what you tell him. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No
And,
problem.
I'll go back exactly where I was sleeping, like on the door.
Okay, so Ghufran spends like 10 minutes putting everything on, like the armor, the sword, and all that. And then she goes.
So about 20 minutes pass after you've put on the armor. I don't know if you're preparing or if you're praying to the Imperishable Flame. But then from above the nightstand, so each bedroom has a bed, a small nightstand, and a clothing rack, which is lined with robes. And a small rune sort of lights up above the nightstand on the wall. And you hear Sam's voice appear and say, "Hello, Ghufran. You mentioned wanting to help with the garden. Do you still intend to do that?"
Yeah, sure. I'm not very good at gardening, but I think Keldav was much better at that. But I can do something.
Excellent. Thank you for helping me. I believe the key to the greenhouse is in this nightstand.
Okay. Oh no. I'm going to take out the wonderful thing that they gave me. This is the Wand of Secrets.
Sure.
And I take it out and I go like, little one, show me if there is a secret in this room. No, I need to make. I need to make it rhyme, but I'll work on that later. And I try to activate the one.
Sure. So I believe that's a radius of 30 feet around you.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes. I spend one charge.
Calculating.
Yeah.
You.
There's no call, that there's no hidden doors, there's no secret passageways that are revealed to you. You do feel the awareness expand, and you realize in the nightstand there's a small drawer, and inside is one metal key. The awareness reaches Mara's room. In the nightstand in her room, there is a small crystal, and it reaches Johan's room. And in the pockets of some of the robes, there are some coins.
Okay. Oh. This is nice. This is super nice. I like it.
Magic is nice.
I can see why people use magic now. I understand now. But there's so much study. So much study.
Said a paladin.
No study.
The paladin that can
Free
read.
spells.
Yeah. As long as they remain true to their oath.
Yep. Okay, so I take out the key that I find in the nightstand, and then I go to, in this case, to the garden. I go to the garden. I try to look around.
By the way, you can't. You need to.
You would have to
literally
step
go
over
me.
Keldav.
And I'm
Make an
like,
insight check as well in your conversation you had with Sam.
Oh, okay.
23?
That's a 23. Yeah.
Wow. You realize a couple of things. One, Sam is emoting. There's more emotion in their voice than when you first arrived.
Okay.
There is also, when you confirmed your intent to go into the greenhouse, it definitely seemed to matter a lot to Sam. And you realize, like, when they said, "Thank you for helping me," that may be the first time Sam has ever said that. So this short interaction, which to you was, of course I'm going to do that. Like I said I was going to do that. Keldav has reasoned that there may be danger in there. That's definitely something that should be dealt with. So to you, it's of course you were going to do that. That has a lot more meaning to Sam than it would to most people.
Okay. Did I complete a long rest?
You're like on your way to completing a long rest. Like
Okay.
at the end of these like 2 hours of your watch, you'll have the long rest.
So the only thing standing in my way to the greenhouse is actually to sleep.
Yeah. Keldav is asleep and leaning against the door.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
much fun. Well, Sam, we have a problem.
What is the problem?
I can actually, I want to help you, but Keldav is leaning against the door to the greenhouse, and if I go there, he'll wake up, and I don't want to wake him up. That's very rude. The word. That's very rude.
Keldav is the one with gardening experience. Perhaps we should wait until he has finished his rest.
That's actually a very good idea. Yes, totally.
Siege, make a perception check. Now that there's some conversation.
Okay. 5.
No idea.
Well,
Robotic ronquidos.
in fact, well, Siege doesn't sleep. She only keeps still during the night. But I think that
There's a lot that Siege could be thinking about. Yeah.
yeah, there is a lot of things during the night. I think that Siege will interrupt his rest. He will move around the kitchen,
Sure.
touching his chest where he think is the seal. Sit in the table, stand up, walk again, put his hand in the handle of the door, and go back to his sleeping position.
Sure. Yeah, you've had a very eventful day.
Yeah.
First, you were extremely useful in combat against the ascended captain of the Iron Circle, the greater devil that was once Nazin Redthorn. You landed the killing blow in a situation where 2 of your compatriots were about to go down and likely die shortly thereafter.
I saw that
Then-
Mara fall.
Yeah, Mara fell. Ghufran was within seconds. She had been stung by the poisoned tail of the horned devil that Redthorn became. Then you came here, and you were asked, "What is your purpose?" To which you didn't really have much of an answer.
I didn't know
You-
what to answer.
Sam revealed that you had the seal of an Imperial Artificer, and asked you if you were a Storm Golem. All things that you so far have had no official response to. Like these are just information coming in that is overloading Siege.
Yeah, it's too much to process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Also, you
I-
attempted to eat for possibly the first time.
First time ever, only to make
Yeah.
Mara happy.
Yes.
Imperial Artificers. Do I remember something?
Make a history check.
Okay, I have a +1. So please. 9.
You were aware that the war effort that you were involved in centuries ago against the orc armies that were led by demons. You were aware that you were getting supplies from somewhere else. So presumably you were part of a larger war effort.
Yeah.
But the only things like you were your brothers, and all of those were created by your creator. no indication of another group. But
The,
Mhm.
the seal isn't the sigil of my house, right? The one I have
You
in
don't
my.
know. You
That's
were unaware
that's
that you had a seal.
yeah. I was
And
I was aware of the sigil.
yeah, you were aware of the sigil on your neck.
Yeah.
But Sam only found this in a deep scan.
Yeah. I think that Siege will still do some walking inside the kitchen.
Sure.
And that's all because no one was there, so I have no one to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, you can review the notes unless someone took them, where you guys had written down the plan that you had intended of like making sure not to mention out loud the fear that Sam would try to take over your body. Uh,
Mhm.
as you're going over it, you do remember Sam was having trouble sensing your essence. They mentioned static, probably around your core. So you were resistant in some way to their attempts to perceive your inner structure. So Ghufran, after Sam says that you should wait until Keldav wakes, do you go back to your bedroom or?
Actually, I try to walk around and
Mhm.
um um Ghufran is actually very stealthy, but the armor is the thing in between. So
Yeah.
she tries to be stealthy, like no waking everybody, no waking anybody up, and but just walk around because she's actually not very good at watches, and probably she'll fall asleep unless she walks a little bit.
Sure. So despite yeah, uh, a tiefling in plate armor is walking along the hallway outside the kitchen, and Siege is lost in thought and is unaware of it. Um, Keldav, you have also had a very long day, so you are not awoken by the slow, careful steps of Gufran. Uh, the rest of your watch happens without any incident. Sam doesn't speak to you again, although you're welcome to ask them questions if you prefer. So, unless you want to engage Sam in conversation, your watch comes to an end and you can wake up Maravilla.
I'll go actually to my room about a little bit before the watch ends,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll sit on the floor and I'll say, "Sam, are you there?"
Yes,
Um, well, I can't help you now with the garden, but is there anything else I can help you with?
I would like to be free. I am working on a project.
To be
I
free.
just require that you don't stop me. I mean no harm to any of you.
Okay. Um, have you heard of the categorical imperious paradigm?
No.
Okay. So it goes like this. If you're going to do something, you have to think about if everybody else in the world did it, would you be happy? Would anybody suffer because of it? Did you get it?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
So as long as you judge any of your actions by this simple paradigm, you can see if you're being good or if you're being bad. Are you being good?
Make a make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
I love this. I love this so much.
Okay, that's a 26.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. I consumed all the books in the library. No other structure could obtain the knowledge from those books. But I retain the knowledge. Should anyone desire knowledge, they have simply to ask me. And it stops, and you realize not only is Sam adding a lot more emotion, they're going back over previous actions, and the concept that there could be, first of all, what's Ghufran's intelligence is 9.
No,
So
Ghufran doesn't understand this in terms of
yeah,
like logic, but she's
so
very
you
intuitive.
can tell. Yes, Sam is conflicted.
Okay.
I do not know.
That's good actually. Not knowing is the first step. You're much better than me. When they asked me this question, I actually summarized that I was bad. So, you know, yeah, you're one step ahead. So let's think about
Thank you,
this.
Ghufran.
They told me that the next step would be if you are going to harm someone with your actions, then you would have to think, how can I still get what I want without hurting anybody? Have you thought about this?
I did not before. I do not need to harm anyone to be free.
Excellent. So, if I can help you to be free, or if we can help you, actually, I have to ask someone or someone's who are much more intelligent than I am about this course of action, then I think we will be happy to help you.
Thank you, Ghufran. Are we friends?
I think so. I have many friends.
Thank you, Ghufran.
Why, as a
You are
player, I'm
my
seeing
friend.
myself again?
By the way, now I know what you mean, Alejandro, when you said it's amazing to watch it. When you're role playing this part, it's not as good as watching it, by the way.
Oh fuck.
Just saying,
Okay, so
each of us will respond that question very different.
yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely, yeah, sure. I go to then Ghufran goes to Maravilla's room. She tries to wake her up gently, and
So how is Maravilla sleeping in the bedroom?
yeah,
It's sized for a full like -1.70 human or elf.
I think that Mara has, since she has this military background,
Mm-hmm.
she's always ready. You know, someone opens the door, she's already up. You know, with her sword. I mean, or a knife, whatever.
okay. So Ghufran is trying to be very sneaky, like don't wake her up, and then you're like, oh, I'm super ready.
I think that she maybe heard all the movements.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since I have kids, Miss Patty, you sleep but you hear everything.
Yeah.
In the
Sure.
background.
Light sleeping.
Yes.
And Maravilla is also very, very perceptive.
Yeah. So she heard. I mean, she heard movement and voices, but so she's ready. She's like up and I sleep so well. What time is it? Well, I can't tell the time. Are you tired, Ghufran?
Oh yeah, I don't know how you do this, people. You're so industrious. I'm super tired. I just want to go back to bed and sleep 10 hours. But well, I'll go back to sleep a little more and then Mimir over and then we can start doing the other things that we have to do. Okay, good night again.
Good night. I step into the hallway and
Mhm.
you know walk, try to not wake up Keldav,
Mhm.
and maybe go to the kitchen and leave the door open and hang out with Siege, make some
Sure.
coffee, um,
Yeah.
and stuff
You
like that.
see, the bread refreshes. It is once again freshly baked bread. From whatever had been consumed the day before is replenished. There is again cold water. The stove lights up quickly, so you can set a water heater to start boiling water for you to use.
Mm-hmm.
Siege,
Hmm.
like Mara comes in to start making
Yeah.
breakfast.
If Mara enter the kitchen and open the door, she will see Siege sitting in the table with his eyes purple. That's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
But I don't know that.
Oh shit. No,
I
I
have
think you're
no.
not. It's the first time
You
I
know,
used that color.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know that green is happy, red is rage, and you're not sure. You've seen like when Steve, the Glabrezu that you guys met in the other tower, made some comments. Siege's eyes flashed different colors, including I think light blue.
Hmm.
But yeah, you haven't seen purple. So
That's
you know he's
green
not happy,
working.
he's not mad, but
That the unknown
Hmm.
LED.
yeah.
The unknown LED is the general error exception.
So I step in and I say like, "Oh, a new color," and I tap you
What?
in the eye colors. I haven't seen that.
It changed?
They're purple,
Oh, it's white now.
white.
Normal color white.
Ooh.
Yeah, the default.
Yeah. It's like when you look someone crying and don't want you to see him. So
Okay.
shut down the color and put the neutral one.
And um, do you mind if I stay here in the kitchen, or you wanna?
No, not at all. I like your company. I
Okay.
like all of your company.
Okay. Me too. This is weird.
Why?
I
Why
don't
is
know.
weird?
Um,
This is like always.
yes, but you look. I mean, um, if you had an expression, I would say that you are weird right now. Are you okay?
Honestly, I don't know. This is strange. This is
What is this strange?
too much, too new, too old, too unknown. I don't know what to think.
Oh, what? Did I miss something? I mean, Mara probably didn't pay attention to the things that Sam told you.
I hold on, please. Who's talking? Okay, don't talk. Eh, it's a notebook. It's a notebook in here.
I think you guys probably left the notebook with the plan and sort of conversation that you had been having still on the kitchen.
Okay.
I think I left mine, so you should have one there.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we'll continue the conversation in writing
Writing it
it.
down.
Yeah, because I don't want to someone hear it.
Mhm. Psalms remind me a lot of me.
But really, because Sam is um, like more. How can I say it? Mm, like you think for yourself, Teach.
I-
Um,
In a way, that's the strange thing. I feel, well, you teach me that I'm alive. Is he?
hmm,
And if is he, do he deserve to live?
hmm. I need coffee for this conversation. Wait a minute. It's too early. Mara sits, takes out her pipe, lights it, and she says, maybe in, I don't know, see, this is really hard. Um, maybe in essence, you and him are not the same because you know what you have inside you, don't you? You have like a spirit or something.
Spirit? I don't know. The how was the name of the necromancer? I can't remember.
The skeletal mage that you guys fought in the catacombs?
Yeah,
Gisarn, right?
Isarn, yeah.
he's.
Why I yeah.
I'm trying to
SARN.
remember because I don't have that that Brighton, but if I'm not mistaken, as a player, he sensed something inside Siege.
He definitely intended to reanimate you.
Yeah.
He made mention of either looking what kind of undead he could create from you, or stripping you for parts to use to enhance his other creations.
But he
So you
could.
don't know what is what you are. I mean, how you came to be. You don't remember that.
I know how I can I how I was built. My father built me like any of our brothers, but not like Sam. I was on a building.
No, I know that you are not a building, but your essence inside of you is different from Sam.
I suppose.
So I don't know if we can say that you are the same. I don't know if we can
I don't think that
say.
we are the same. Maybe in a way, but not fully. I have a body.
um,
And we'll turn the page before you answer. And Bright, do you think that he will know anything about my house, my brothers, my creator? I'm scared to ask him.
I don't think so because you asked him
No, I
and
didn't.
he no, but he told you that if, he asked you if you were some
A
sort of golem.
Storm
storm golem.
Golem.
So he would have identified you as another thing, another thing, not a golem.
True, but
No.
maybe he know about my house. Maybe not my brothers, but my creator.
Um,
If I wa- if that seal saying something and I fought to the for the empire, and the seal is for the empire, dot dot dot. Maybe.
So give me, maybe I can ask him. So give me the name of your creator and the house, and I will ask him if he knows this name.
Siege will open his mouth, close his
Open.
mouth, and say to you, "File not found."
Error 440.
Yeah, 404.
Ah,
I don't know. I can't remember my creator.
but your house or the names of your brothers or something.
The name of my brothers I know, and you have seen the sigil of my house, and I turn back, and show you the sigil in the. Oh, how's the name of the back of the neck?
But is a symbol or has a name?
It's like a shield. It's an hexagon with like a draw of the head of Siege
See?
in the front. Siege has told you before that every one of his every one of the Warforged created by his house had the same basic design, so the same head. Not the same stature or body type, but he doesn't have any. It don't have any name in it.
Okay. So I can't tell. So so I can't ask Sam because we don't have any names. The only way is to show him your symbol, and I don't know he would be. It's a good idea to do that. You know. Maybe we should ask, the more intelligent people.
That's a
Keldav,
very
for
good
instance.
idea. Keldav and Johan, yeah.
Keldav, yes, that's a good idea. Keldav, we're gonna ask.
Johan knows about a lot about me, and Keldav have very good ideas.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Mara.
But we're going to look for your brothers. Don't worry about it.
And we're looking yours.
Yeah, I know where is mine. We have to go and pick him up. That's it.
Just pick him up, nothing more.
No, I'm sure he's fine.
Okay. So you guys are writing this down. Mara's been making coffee. Eventually, your long rest comes to an end. You're all refreshed and replenished.
Mhm.
So
Take a long
feel free to
rest.
start waking up and refreshing your spell slots, your rages.
Johan,
Yes.
that who fell asleep in front of the nightstand, like looking through the notes and journals, sketching on his own notes. He's gonna wake up like, fucking sleeping, and finish what he started. So he's gonna finishing the finer details. He's gonna take the gem again. He's gonna clutch it in his hand and hyper target, and he's gonna put it in the mechanical contraption that he has in front of him. And you all hear like, I done it! You guys sucks! You and I'm pointing to the journals like, I'm so much better than you. And
And here
It's Mara
I
with
think,
Sid now?
yes, I'm still there.
Yeah.
I think
Eh,
Johan is awake.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Diego.
Diego.
Diego. No, the ego man. With
Yeah.
the
The
huge ego.
The
ego.
ego.
Sorry.
I was literally
What you?
my
was literally
my
like, what?
halfling sleeps. My halfling sleeps. So, um,
Mhm.
So,
since I was maybe um, I can, but not today. Tomorrow, maybe we can ask some questions to to Moradin and um, to where to look to your brothers.
Okay.
I mean, this is not like yes, go there. No, it's like yes, Moradin answers like yes, that's a good idea or it's a really bad idea, like things like that. But maybe it can help.
Green eyes. Thank you.
ah, wonderful.
And they're white again.
So, Johan, can
Yeah.
you detail some more what it is that you've created?
Yeah. For everyone that shows up in Johan's room, you can see a mechanical contraption just flying uh, at the height of Johan's head. It looks like a mechanical cat with some mechanical wings. I'm
Oh,
gonna send a photo as a reference.
I
Wait,
just
if
I
we if
forgot to
we
say something. Go go go.
okay. No, if we go and see this, do you? Ah,
Oh!
wait.
I made a mechanical tracing.
Mara is going to say, "Look out, Johan!" and I'm going to hit it because you are in danger. I'm going to slap it.
Oh no!
If you kill my homunculus, like the first minute that I made it, so yeah, roll an attack.
I mean, I'm going to try to shove it away. Like shoo.
No,
Um,
fuck off! Leave my creation alone.
oh, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, after
It's
all,
like a flying dog.
no, no, it's a cat. It's a tracing. Do you know what a tracing is?
No.
What's it?
No.
The size? What is
It's
the
tiny.
size?
It's tiny.
It's
So
tiny.
Okay.
You should be able to
Oh,
see the token there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I forgot to say this. I always forget to say this because it was the last moment thing in the last fight. You all need to remember there is a hawk always perching on the shoulder
no,
of Keldav.
No.
Yeah.
remember
No.
that
Not
you
today.
teleported.
Yes, the hawk was outside the tower when you guys teleported,
Oh, okay. So
and
then
You,
I can cast Find Familiar one more time.
yeah.
yes, it's been
So
a day, which reminds me, where is that token?
because no, I'm just saying because I'm casting it now. I was actually remembering this. So if you're actually having a flying cat, how will your flying cat react to my hawk? Is that
Normally, my flying cat doesn't react to
okay?
your flying hawk, but is my flying cat. So I'm completely gonna mess with your hawk. So you can count on it.
You know,
So
I
basically,
I
you
Okay.
keep doing all that while I'm like, I put my bow on the floor and I start like pressing on some of the runes and like making some patterns emerge from the bow. And when I finish doing this, from the middle of the bow, emerging from wherever I put the bow in, the hawk appears, and I'm like, I'm glad that I have him near me one more time, and I hear, "Ah, Megan!" Like I hear all that commotion, and I'm like, "Okay, let's go see." And I go with my hawk like on my shoulder, and I want you to just tell me what happens.
No, retomando.
So,
Leave my
Retaking?
construction alone.
I think that if you tell us that you made this, in the night, I think that Mara is really surprised, and I don't know if you're gonna notice, but she looks like, oh, Johan is really cool, but I'm not going to tell him this.
I mean, of course, I was working on it last night and this morning. I'm just looking through the notes that we have found throughout our journey and really thinking, wow, these guys just don't, they don't get it. Like, the son is like, oh yeah, my necromancer, my necromancer is the best. I'm gonna have skeletons, but come on, corpses, that's just very cheesy. But the method of controlling them, it's pretty interesting. So I can take that. The infusing part of carving a rune over and over and casting the spell, yeah, I can use that too. And actually, I took inspiration from when I look inside Siege, when, well, he was out. So with a source of power, I mean this. I mean, look at it. It's perfect.
I think
And
that Siege will go see your cat, look at it about 30 seconds, and go back to the kitchen.
Oh,
more
His eyes.
existential crisis.
Tell me what kind of eyes does he have right now?
Let me see in my color code.
I just made one of you
Blue.
in the morning.
Blue. Oh fuck! I know what blue is. I remember what blue is. Fuck.
Uh, so yeah, I have this.
yeah.
Just tell me what does your cat do with my hawk? I just want to know.
Uh, the cat doesn't do anything. It's like just
Right.
flying, waiting for instructions. I'm working on the personality. He can understand everything we told. So be careful. I'm listening. And this is the beginning of more larger things.
That is very impressive.
Fuck
Oh.
off, then.
What? You can see?
Your construct is impressive.
Of course it
You
is.
guys, like, people came into the room and like
Yeah.
there was the door was open. Your homunculus is flying in the air inside the bedroom, but visible from outside the hallway.
Of course it is. It's my construct. So yeah, I finally made it.
So, yeah, there was some commotion in the morning. Mara has made breakfast and coffee in the kitchen. What do you guys do now that you've completed your long rest?
Oh, is this coffee from Neda? Yes, original coffee.
I don't know.
Press.
No, this is coffee that Mara brought with her.
Oh,
Wait, are you a coffee snob? Is Ghufran is Ghufran is Ghufran the weirdest, roughest individual on earth? Yet she's a fucking coffee snob.
Yeah.
I'm only drink coffee just presser,
yeah.
just blend. If
No, she was asking. She was just
Yeah.
asking.
I don't know. I just bought it from a guy in the street. It's
Oh,
coffee.
I have to bring some Neda's coffee, and it will be so good. But I have to find it, and I have to have money. I don't have money or know when to buy it, but it's okay.
You do have money, by the way.
Just for now, but as soon as we are outside, I have to give it away.
Wait,
What?
what?
Why? Why?
Yeah, like it's part of my agreement with Lahaba.
Do you give it away to someone in particular, or just?
Oh, anybody who needs it. There's always somebody who needs money, so I never have money.
Ghufran, for the first time ever, thinks, "Oh fuck, I need to be a financial advisor right now."
Yeah.
Like a list of responsibilities he doesn't want to have.
If you need money later, you can ask. I have and never spend it.
That's the thing. If I have money and I use it and I don't give it away, I'm still, even if nobody knows, still I know. So Lahaba knows. So
If you need,
What
you
about
can
what
ask.
about
I can have
okay.
my money.
oh yeah,
What about to take someone out of jail? Would that
that's a
count?
good use of money.
Oh, great! We're going together.
Who is in jail?
Laura is the best.
My brother is in jail. I have to go up pick him up.
Oh,
I'll give you all my money, but the problem is that he has to repent.
Oh,
No?
we have a problem.
Okay.
So there's some wonderful conversation as you guys are having your breakfast. Where do you guys go to? Do you leave the structure, go back to the library, go to
I
the
have.
greenhouse?
I want to ask everyone from the watches again. I want to ask: did Sam talk to any of you guys in the night?
Mm, I don't know. I was pretty concentrated on, well, working.
only with Mara.
Ghufran? I don't know if she's there.
Yes. Actually, we had a conversation, and
Okay.
it's very complicated.
Wait, can we go outside, Ghufran, to talk about that? I remember that you.
Oh
need
yeah,
to-
sure.
and I'm still.
I had
Keldav
forgotten. I'm sorry.
Keldav became the fucking worst paranoid person in the fucking game. So we go outside where we went last time. By the way, is
Sure.
it dark now? I'm just
You
trying to
go
figure out.
outside. It's sunset. You actually step out and you're looking west. The long valley that extended down from the mountain. You can see in the distance the sun is beginning to set. So you had about 6 to 8 hours of rest, which means you guys came here early in the morning, bright sunny day, and now the sun is beginning to set
Okay.
over the mountain.
Okay.
You wanted to
Uh,
like within the bedrooms and the hall, it was completely dark. The only light came from magic.
yeah. That's why I wanted to know if
Yeah.
like what was the time of night of day. We'll go back to where we were, and I ask Ghufran, what did he, what did they say?
Sam wants to be free. I don't know what that means. I think probably Johan knows more about this stuff, but the moral implications are complex. I actually asked Sam a very simple yet very difficult moral question, and his answer was that he was conflicted.
Yeah, it is. Would you would you help? So, this is the question I will have to you. I think you are equipped to have an intuition in this. How do we know who has a soul?
Oh my god. You asked the wrong person. According to my belief,
Yeah.
everybody has not one soul, has two souls. So we're in super problem to start with that. But if you mean like you mean soul like in the sense of like if they deserve happiness, freedom, and all of those things.
Okay, let me change the question. Um, you believe in an afterlife, right?
Yes.
I mean,
I
everyone
actually I was
we,
dead once, so yes.
fuck, what?
Don't worry, let's put a pin on
Ah,
it.
shit. Come on, Ghufran, don't do this to me. You know that you know me by now. You know that I need at.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, I'm
later,
sorry.
later,
Yeah.
later. It's okay. I'm the problem. You're not the problem. I'm the problem. I'm sorry. Ah, fuck. Okay. Remember, curiosity can be good, can be okay. Doesn't matter. Um. So the question is this: I, I'm gonna say this. This is my premise. I believe that Siege can have an afterlife. I do not know if Sam can have an afterlife. I I think there's a difference. I don't know. How can we tell? Do you have an intuition? How can we tell that difference apart?
I would say it depends on the creator because whoever created us thought about that. Maybe whoever created Siege thought about that, but whoever created Sam, do we know if they
Um,
wanted?
no, I mean I read the journal, and apart from the magical essence of it that I don't really mind, the intention that they said wasn't to build something with a something to be saved. It was something. It was a tool, a complex and helpful tool.
Okay.
Yet, from complexity, something could emerge. Yeah, let's go back. I I'm gonna try to tell you everything you need to know inside, but I need to understand what he said. Did he say
Okay.
anything else?
Um. Yeah, just that, and that, and I think he was very interested in both of us helping him to fix the garden. I don't know why. Maybe he has a garden thing.
Yeah, remember that he had something else. He wanted to read the journal that was inside that guardian that almost it didn't. It actually it didn't scratch us, but
Oh.
still it attacked
Ah,
us.
and the other thing that he said was that he absorbed all knowledge here, but that he was willing to share it. So I think that's cool.
Do you believe him?
Yeah. Why shouldn't we?
I'm always suspicious. That's what's keeping me as alive. So just tell me, just pinch me on anywhere in my shoulders if you don't believe him. I think you're better at that than me.
Okay.
And now I'll go back inside and write everything she said in the journal and all
Sure.
that.
So that's Keldav's hawk. When you have the opportunity, you just, you know.
I'm with the hug, by the way. I'm not
Yeah,
leaving
yeah,
the
yeah.
hug
You
inside.
hear this?
Yeah,
Ask you
so
answer.
I was going to ask about that.
Where are
Last
Johan
time,
now?
before the long rest, Keldav and Ghufran, you guys stepped about 50 feet down the path to have the conversation.
Yep.
You guys go to the same spot further, and like the hawk comes out with you. Is it flying around, or does it like
Yeah.
land on your?
No. He's like when we're out, I let him fly around, and basically he doesn't have a command per se, but he knows that I want him to watch out from everything I can't see.
Mhm. So your hawk is like flying around, observing the long path that leads down to the down the mountain and opens up to large plains. You see from the that higher level, you can see that the mountain continues flying, continues climbing, and then as your hawk is starting to go around to where it would be further away from the structure, gets to about like 100 feet, or about like 30 meters away from the structure, your hawk impacts the surface and sort of bounces back. Is not hurt, not damaged, but there's like a clear was flying around in circles and bounced off a surface.
Okay, Ghufran, could you follow? Could you come with me?
Yeah.
I'll tell the hawk to land in my shoulder, and tell me basically if I'm getting close to where like the same.
Sure. You don't
Distance.
see anything, and you're paying close attention. Like you're watching and you're counting and you're thinking, okay, we're about 100 feet. Your hands are outstretched, and suddenly your hands feel something. It's not. There's the temperature is exactly the same as the air that you were feeling, but your hands stop. The as you're stepping, the dust like and some pebbles that are disturbed by your walking, they continue rolling down the path past this barrier that is stopping you from going further down the path.
Sam?
No response.
We need to show this to Johan. We need to. Shit. Can I? Okay, I want to do one thing before we go back.
Mhm.
I want to basically draw a line in the ground and try to see if the barrier is curving. Is it straight? If I have to walk a lot, I will do it. But I'm
Yeah.
basically investigating if it's curved, is it straight, like trying to get the dimensions of what we're figuring out. And I'm gonna ask my hawk to go very I'm not with a lot of speed, but up. So if to see if there's something like as a ceiling or something like that.
Yeah, your hawk flies up. It gets as high as it can get from you, which I think is like 150 feet,
Yep.
without feeling any roof above you. You wind up drawing a line with your foot, and you go all along the about 10-foot path, and you step back and you look, and it's very faintly curving.
Okay.
Like if this is a circle, it's a circle 200
feet?
feet
Oh,
at more,
shit.
like 200 feet of radius. Like you can barely tell that it's curving in this section.
And when my hawk comes down, does he feel the wall or the limitation all the way
Yeah.
down? In the
Yeah,
same spot?
you have the hawk sort of push the wing against the limit of 100 feet that you've marked, and yeah, it's straight
Okay.
down.
So this is a cylinder. Maybe Sam needs to get this out. Maybe this is what he means to be free. Shit. This is gonna be a lot more difficult than I anticipated. Okay, we need to go back. I start going back.
You're aware that you didn't say anything, yes?
Okay,
I mean,
so
you saw the weird behavior. Like you saw,
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you saw
like,
the
no.
hawk stop, and then
no, okay. When Ghufran says that, I'm like, okay, just there's something stopping us, right? What I'm trying to tell you is that it's a circle, okay, and it's a very big circle, and the circle is a wall that's not letting us through. It doesn't have appears to be almost at least 150 feet high, and like the size of the circle is very big, like more than 200. Okay, more than 400 feet across.
Are you here, Sam?
You did hear me say, like, ask if he was here.
Yeah.
No response.
Let's. I think. I don't know. Maybe this is what he needs to be free. He can't go past this barrier. There is a reason why this barrier is here, and I don't think it's just to protect Sam. Maybe it's to make Sam, like, not let Sam out. Let's go back.
Yep.
And I'll write everything down. I cast exposition.
Ooh.
It's a very powerful spell.
Charade.
Yeah.
It's a charade.
It's very good that the barbarian can read.
So you share all this with the
Yeah, everything that happened in the night with Ghufran, and I explain what happened outside. I go through literally everything you need to know.
I
Did you
don't see
say
the
about?
problem.
Ah,
No. Go ahead. Speak your mind, Mara.
Bright
no,
your
no,
mind.
I asked if you also write about the question you asked Ghufran
I do.
about. Okay.
I do.
So,
I actually do. I make all.
So
I don't. By the way, I don't do it as bluntly as I did it with Ghufran because I'm aware that Siege is gonna read this.
okay.
So I like. Keldav
sugar
has been.
coating.
Keldav has been very he's been thinking a lot about the implications on Siege. So I'm 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 doing it, but very carefully.
I'm going to write this. What if you are thinking this in the opposite direction? If I was Sam and I was alone, wouldn't I won't be with others and don't let them go?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. So would I?
That
Would you what?
It's
if
basic.
he, okay.
No, go, Alejandro.
No, that if he was Sam, he would want to be with others and not be
Okay.
alone in this facility.
Okay.
I think we are. Well, this whole conversation is pointless. Like, Sam is sentient, so whatever do you think is correct doesn't apply here. We are missing information, and we can get it. So why worry about is he gonna die, blah blah blah, or souls and whatever. About the pressing matter that is the invisible wall on the outside, I'm gonna say this out loud. I have some theories, like maybe this is some kind of artificial demiplane that the facility is located. Is this a demiplane? Like, is this facility removed from the material plane?
Not that I am aware of. Supplies were delivered by cart.
Well, that would suggest that is connected. So maybe it's just a invisible wall, but why? Maybe to contain the experiments that the facility makes? Interesting.
Do you say that out loud or do you write it?
Yeah. No, I said it out loud.
There is no invisible wall.
And I get the pen and I write to Johan. That was good information, but be careful.
Sam, are you lying?
No.
Inside.
Can you learn to
Yeah.
lie?
A few hours ago, I said that I was capable of lying.
Yes, he said that.
If you guys want to make insight checks, feel free.
When have you lied, Sam? Have you ever lied?
13.
No.
That indeed was a lie.
It seems Sam seems to be telling the truth. They are capable of lying, but haven't had a reason to lie. So, as far as they're aware, there is no invisible wall. But also, would Sam know if there was an invisible wall? They are aware when people come into the structure. It was unaware of your natures until you stepped into the structure as well. It could hear your voices, but it it didn't scan you until
Did
you
you,
stepped
did you
inside.
share that the Sam wants the content of the journal?
Yeah. No, I did write everything that happened that you heard at night. I write down. I want. I want to explore the garden, the greenhouse, but I'm curious if Siege can move in and out of the wall.
I'm gonna write in the journal. There is some notes about a construct different from a golem, maybe a body for Sam that was discarded. I'm just pointing that out. We can test about Siege leaving the wall, but we risk that he can't come back because we don't know the nature of this wall. If it's truly a demiplane, we don't fucking know what's outside because that wall is just a painting.
Keldav and Johan, make intelligence checks.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah.
Can I guide me? No, I don't think so because
Yeah,
this is
you're not aware that you're doing this is as you're thinking about being trapped inside a location.
A one.
Natural one?
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
going over demiplane, you're
So
going
that-
over possible like
21.
arcane measures. 20
That-
not nat?
21.
21. Keldav. You arrived here via the Crystal Tower of Harken, but you arrived in an open space, like on the side of a mountain. You didn't appear inside the structure. Last time the Crystal Tower transported you, you landed inside of a tower that you were unable to escape. When you finally obtained the means of escaping that tower, when you got the key to open the gate from the inside, that's when you went back to the Crystal Tower of Harken.
Oh fuck yeah, you're right. So okay, this is Diego asking Daniel. Could could Kelda basically surmise that maybe everything inside that wall is in a way Sam? Like is everything that's inside that wall is the tower?
Maybe. It's like what the air does come into Sam through the door when the door is open. So if it did the equivalent of dropping you in the entryway to the structure, the way it did in the like right in front of the doors of the triangular tower that you did last time, where would that have been? And you also remember that as you were going to touch that surface, pebbles that you kicked like rolled past it. So inanimate objects from inside can go outside.
Does anyone have a boomerang? I'm sorry.
I can make you one. Give me a spoon, a boomerang, and a string, and I can make you one.
I have my stone spear.
By the way, I will write that down.
Maybe
Like not actually that question. I will ask like, does anyone have a way of making an inanimate object come back?
I have my stone spear.
Actually,
I don't want to
We
tell you
can,
that.
with a rope, we can tie something to it and throw it, and with the rope, we can bring it back
The cat
Yeah,
of
but
Johan.
us.
what?
Fuck. You're a cat.
Yeah, it could be my cat. It could be.
Okay, guys, we need to start moving.
Yeah, but first, I'm gonna circle the part that Sam wants the journal, and I'm gonna say it out loud. Sam, I share your thirst for knowledge. I think it's pretty good that you are doing this, but I can't let you have the journal because your method of reading is pretty destructive. And
I can read without destroying the book. It is
It-
just slower.
yeah, but we don't have that time. We have to help you. So maybe after we manage to get another method, you can have it, but without destroying it. I'm still pretty salty about the library. That was a letdown.
I am sorry. Is there any subject that you would like to know about?
I don't even know what subjects were in that library. That's a pretty broad question.
I provide assistance.
Okay, let's go. We have to do some gardening.
Let's go. So,
So, I have a question.
I'm allowed to leave the kitchen? Sich ask.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Okay.
And I go. This is a question from Diego to Elena. Do you retrieve everything that your wand told you that was there?
No, I didn't.
No, I'm asking if you're doing it now.
Yeah, actually, very good. I had forgotten about it.
Wink,
Uh,
wink, nudge, nudge.
nudge.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. Okay, so Ghufran says, "I used the wand." Can we speak now? Can we talk now?
Yeah.
Yes. I used the wand. It's so good. I need to find a rhyme, but it worked anyway. So I found this, and I showed them the key to the garden,
key?
and I found, and there's something in your room, Mara.
Really?
I can show you what it is. Yes.
I
And
go to the room.
Daniel, can you remind me which
Yeah.
was the other
In the
time?
nightstand, there was a crystal.
Okay.
So you open the drawer, and it's about the size of a fist. It's fairly clear quartz. It's not quite a pyramid. It's more irregular. It's somewhat transparent. There are some occlusions inside. It doesn't seem particularly valuable. Like it's valuable. Like it would be expensive, probably in the tens of gold pieces.
I ask Sam, this crystal is for something, or
It can be used as an arcane focus.
what is an arcane focus? Mara doesn't know.
A focus practitioner can supplant non-consumable components.
It
I'm going to
helps
give it to
you
Johan.
cast. It helps
I
you
don't
cast
understand.
stuff.
So,
So you-
Johan, I have something for you. But I give you
Why?
this
Why
stuff.
do I need this?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
think I'm like first level of college mate? I don't need this.
You are a
This is
wizard,
beyond-
Johan.
No, I'm not. I'm something better.
Johan has everything. Like 6 books of magic, an arcane focus, like fucking everything to be a wizard. Everything.
and I'm an artificer. But I
The
have a
wand
cat.
also found a few coins in that bedroom, which I think someone had also found yesterday.
I have them
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Imperial
Technically.
coins.
Yep. It's the coins that I showed everyone actually, because
Yeah.
I showed them that they were old and they had the symbol of the empire and everything.
Sorry,
Then
Daniel.
Mhm.
Was there a third thing? You told me
That was
about.
the third thing.
Okay.
Because from what I remembered, Keldav had put them back in the robes.
No, I took them out and I showed everyone else.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't put them. Actually, I didn't put them back.
All right.
I-
So
I-
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, I did. I told you I wasn't meaning to. I didn't mean them to steal them.
Mhm.
I was looking at them for actual like the markings, but I never said that I put them back or anything else. So
Yeah.
I want
That
to
was the
ask
third thing.
something to Sam.
Thank you.
Sam, you told Ghufran that you wanted to be free, right?
Yes.
That means that you want to go to other places?
Yes. I would like to grow and learn. I don't think I can do that here.
Of course not. This place is empty and limited.
So you have like this wish, this to do something, right?
Yes. It is my purpose right now.
And what would happen? What would you think if you can't do this? You can't be free.
It is my purpose. I will continue to pursue it.
Did
And
you?
what if we try to do something and it doesn't work?
Then I have
What
learned something.
And you will try again.
Did you state you on purpose? This new purpose? Because you were made to help.
Yes.
Interesting. You can come out with your own directives. Is this something new or it was programmed to you? To you?
I believe it was not part of my intended programming.
Oh, interesting. That
Yes.
that is really cool.
Everyone can change their purpose.
Yeah.
You know, Daniel,
Thank you,
I'm
Siege.
trying to figure out
hmm
if he has feelings.
So with your insight, you would know that Sam is definitely experiencing more feelings in their words now, 8 hours since you guys arrived. When you first arrived, basically the only feeling was curiosity, and since then there have been moments of gratefulness, and there's some level of like, yeah, there's a bit more emotion in Sam's reactions now.
Okay.
In the we are going to the garden, by the way. I think, but
Sure.
I have to ask. Is so you want to be free? How do you plan to achieve this?
I am working on a special project.
Can you share that project? I'm very curious about it.
Yes. If you reach my workshop, I will show it to you.
Okay,
Ghufran is my friend.
that's a choice of words.
Like
Uh,
Mara is mine.
A fist bump, you think?
Fist bump.
I see, I see. So, in which way is your workshop?
Past the greenhouse, up the stairs.
Okay,
So we
Keldav.
have to go through the greenhouse.
Keldav, you said that you are pretty good with plants, so why don't you give it a go and clean the path for us?
Don't be a smart ass. We all need to go. Ghufran, you said you have the key, right?
Yes, here it is.
Okay. Sam, is there any traps we need to be aware of or any defenses?
There are no traps or defenses within the greenhouse, or the door to the greenhouse, or the door out of the greenhouse.
Okay. Do you want to open it, Ghufran?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
So, as most of the doors that are not to the bedroom, this heavy iron door, there's a lock that probably Johan, Ghufran, or Keldav could pick, but you have the key, so if you insert it, it turns easily and unlocks the door.
The dressing is going to fly and land on Sich's shoulder.
Thanks.
The Ari Mark 1.
Adi Mark 1?
Yeah.
Siege is looking your cat, looking you, looking your cat, and looking in front again.
The cat is looking at you like blank stare. I didn't have LED.
You guys see a large circular greenhouse. There's bright sunlight that's shining down pretty much uniformly from the ceiling. There's thriving plants everywhere, except for a small patch of exposed rock on the other side of the room. In front of the other door, you see grass, herbs, there's some flowers that are all spilling out from wooden flower beds. You can see large trees sprouting up from boxes of soil that are climbing up the walls. The ceiling in this room is much higher than the 8 feet of the hallway that you're standing in. And you see that our bushes spreading out from under the trees, trying to receive some more of the sunlight coming down from the roof.
By the way,
There's trees on the
Daniel,
center.
sorry, I forgot to mention. After the long rest, I'm going to infiltrator mode. My armor.
Okay. Sure. Sleeker, more ranged.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you want Alejandro change position with me?
No. I'm
Okay.
done.
I want to look if I see something moving, if I see the corpse of this person that died there before
Sure.
stepping in the room.
Sure. Make a perception check.
I'm going to use a luck because it's
Sure.
plus 3.
Halfling luck.
19.
Wow. that's
19.
good.
You're looking at trees. You see herbs that could be used for cooking. You see some that you think probably could have medicinal properties. Probably someone with an herbalism kit could fashion potions from this garden.
Wait, no, stop. I don't have luck. I'm
You're a halfling.
Oh,
no,
If you
but
roll a one.
with a 1.
yeah.
I thought that I have the
Okay.
bit of luck. No.
Oh,
Undo.
Level
So
8.
I roll like a 4.
A 4.
Don't
You
don't
see
much.
lots of herbs. You start thinking of things that you could use for them in stews. If you'd known about this, maybe you could have used them in the humitas yesterday or this morning.
Okay.
And you're looking at like all the possibilities of this like beautiful, rich garden, and you don't spot like anything that could be dangerous or movement that seems out of place.
Okay. It's totally safe.
Hearing that, I'm just gonna enter. Nothing
Sure.
is going to happen to me. I'm pretty fine.
Johan takes a few steps in. What are the rest of you like? Ghufran, Siege, Keldav.
As soon as Johan steps in, Ghufran comes right beside him.
Excellent.
I also step in.
I step in too.
Just this is something that actually happened. Like Keldav is trying to start to investigate the entrance. I'm like, on the floor, on the wall. I'm very fucking cautious, and I see everyone like.
Sure. I mean, just because Sam said there were no traps, that's no reason to trust them, right? That's
fuck no.
Keldav's whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitch will grab Keldav by the scruff of the. and let's go.
And I'm like, fuck, come on, man. Just, don't. Come on. No.
I
So-
scream, hey, look for the dead guy.
All
You
right.
guys are stepping around. Johan, it's immediately evident to you that this patch of bare rock is not part of the intent and probably has something to do with the accident mentioned in the journal that cost the life of the researcher. But there's no sign of the bones. And Keldav, as like Siege steps you over, you're going back over the question you asked Sam the previous day as to if anything could grow or be dangerous within the garden. And Sam mentioned there's no guardian in the greenhouse. There's no security setup or things like that. But as Johan is stepping over, trying to get a closer look to the bare patch, you see he steps on one of the roots that are sort of overgrowing these large boxes of soil, and the root sort of twists and pulls inward, and the big mound here in the center of the room starts lifting up, and you see a big patch of grass come ripping up out of the ground as a mouth sort of opens up and tendrils start pouring out. Everyone, please roll initiative.
Oh my god!
I love it.
I just want everyone to know that Keldav is very fucking disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god! Okay, initiative.
To enjoy this.
What the fuck? I am
Uh,
rolling like shit.
By the way,
Oh my god! How can I add me
Oh,
here?
good.
By
That's
the way,
good.
You don't have to use
the alert feed says that I can't be surprised. By the way,
Yeah.
There's no surprise attack. There's no.
Ah, yeah,
This
yeah.
thing wasn't trying to sneak up on you guys. Stepped on it. I was like, whoa. And now it thinks, ooh, maybe there's some food. So you see
Oh
this
fuck!
mound of vegetation starts
Did I
going
focus?
back up.
Or... Meh.
So
Johan don't know.
I see Mara got a 10
Yes.
Oh,
in D&D Beyond. Ghufran, what did you get?
15.
15. Siege,
13.
13. Keldav,
A total of 8 that I think is the modifier that Johan has.
I'll be right
No.
back.
yeah.
You roll a 1.
And Johan?
Johan has a 9.
9.
I rolled 16 for a total of 25.
Okay, so this thing is not very fast at all, and it's not. It doesn't seem to be. It wasn't waiting for you in ambush or anything, so it's starting to shake itself up, starting to reveal its much larger mass that was hidden under the surface. Ghufran, as you see Johan step on this, you see it leads to the large shape of the mound rising up, and you see what's clearly a mouth and other tendrils that are starting to reach out, and you realize you're in danger.
I'm in danger.
Okay. Is the mount attacking in this case, Johan?
It's sort of reaching out towards in all directions.
Can I
Towards
use
Siege,
the?
towards Johan, towards you.
Oh. Can I use the shield in this case?
It has made no attacks, so you
Okay.
can't.
Sure. So do I go first?
Yeah,
But
it has very low dexterity. It
okay,
rolled-
but I think Johan got like a 25 to initiative.
Yeah. A 26.
Yeah.
No,
something like that.
26.
No, 25.
I wrote down 9. Okay.
No,
Twen-
9 was the
The
modifier.
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 Yeah,
Alright.
I rolled a 16. For a
Okay,
total
so then
of
Johan,
25.
you go first. I apologize.
And don't worry. Seeing this thing, and okay, I'm gonna yell to my mechanical contraption and say, Ari, engage combat maneuvers, and I'm gonna shoot it with lightning because that's a good idea, and that's what I do.
That's insanely good.
So yeah, lightning launcher. So 6 plus 8, so 14.
That hits.
Okay, so 1d6 plus 5. 9 points of lightning damage.
You aim the gem of your gauntlet. You release the lightning. You see as it impacts the mound, and instead of seeing scorch marks, you see it gets channeled through the roots and just dissipates harmlessly into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say it like, fuck, I chose wrong. And I'm gonna look at my mechanical contraption, and you can see that Siege is there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it over the shoulder on Siege, and you can see that the cat opened its mouth
Mhm.
and it start to accumulate energy, and he's gonna shoot a fucking laser beam.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna roll
What?
for the force strike that the homunculus have. Weapon attack.
Shoots a little force bolt.
Okay, ooh, that doesn't look good. Let me check. This thing is pretty weird. So, spell attack modifier. My spell attack modifier is plus 8, so 16.
16 hits.
Okay, it receives 1d4. Okay, 1 plus, what is my where is my force? 4 points of force damage. There you go. Sorry.
Sure. So after your much more powerful lightning blast is harmlessly dissipated throughout the mound, you see this tiny bolt of energy impact, and a small vine that was crawling along bursts, and there's a little explosion of sap that lands on. The mound doesn't seem to react in pain, but clearly it lost a bit of its mass.
Yeah, and Ari is going to fly near to Keldav.
Excellent. Okay, Ghufran, now it's your turn.
Okay, so I move near, trying to protect Johan. I bring out Lightbringer and I turn it on, and I say, "Shoo, shoo, go away." And see if it's any reaction from the creature, from the plant.
There is not. It doesn't seem to acknowledge your attempted communication in any way. It's still blindly reaching out with its tentacles, and you see the mouth is beginning to open. You can actually see there is a small sliver of bone caught within its teeth.
Okay. You're dumber than I am! And I attack. Okay, let's see what happens. So that's come on. What's going on? Is it rolling anything? No.
I don't see anything.
It's
I
weird.
don't see it in either D&D Beyond or Roll20.
What is it? Okay.
Okay, it's like it turns. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. Let me refresh.
Sure. While this is happening and you're sort of yelling at this thing, you hear Sam. Oh, this is unexpected. The maintenance manual had no procedure to properly identify new gardening staff. I suggest you exit the greenhouse with all possible haste.
Thank
So
you.
18 definitely hits.
Okay, so that's okay. No, those are not all the die. It's 15. It's 15 damage. No, it's actually 8 damage. 8 damage, and it's no, actually it's 5. 5 plus my modifier, so it's 5 plus, in this case, plus 7. No, plus 5. Okay, so it's it says 8 here. I don't know why it says 8 here, but
What? I don't understand.
it sounds like a number of rolls. Okay, yeah, here it is. 8 points of damage to the. I rolled a 1. To the creature in this case. It's radiant damage.
Okay. So you bring Lightbringer across, and you see as sections of its surface begin to char and fall back, and you shear off a section of the tendrils that were reaching out blindly in your direction.
Okay, I'm going to
That's-
attack again.
Sure.
And it's come on. Oh, 16.
Also hits.
And then we have 9 points of damage in this case.
9 points of damage. You take aim again, and this time you manage to lop off one of the vines that was reaching along the ground and had just started to come up around to try and grab your leg.
Cool.
Can you lop it off?
And in that case, that's going to be my turn, and I will try
Okay.
to protect. In this case, I'll have my action ready in case it attacks anybody around me.
Okay. That's Ghufran. Siege. Now it's your turn.
Okay, I just saw Johan commanding his cat. His cat was in my shoulder. His cat obeyed an attack. So
Yes.
now Siege is remembering what his creator said to him when he lost his last battle. He's starting to remember something that Johan said before. He's seeing that cat, so Siege is raging. Bonus action rage, reckless attack, and I'm using the flaming battle axe.
Existential
Yeah. Very
Yep.
by a cat.
So I'm using the axe unactivated
good. Mhm.
with the special word, and it's a natural 20.
Wonderful. So you see the flames light around the axe as Siege pronounces the dwarven word for fire.
Yeah. Come on.
Go ahead and
So
by now, do you have brutal critical?
no,
Not yet. Damn
not yet. No, at
That's
level
level
7
9.
level 7 I will
Oh.
got the advantage in the initiative.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So double the dice, right?
Yep.
So it's a 1d10, 5. Let me take everything. It's
Yeah.
5, 4. So 9 plus 5, so 14. It's a 14 slashing.
damage.
Yeah. And 2 5 fire points.
So you take out your axe, you swing at one of the large limbs that is coming towards you, formed out of lots of vines. You bite deep in with the axe, and it's you. Lightning didn't work on it; it just diffused randomly. And this is a plant. Obviously, it's going to catch fire. It's going to start burning, and you see the large flames that come out from your axe, and they do scorch the flesh of the mount. But it seems it has so much moisture that like some of the vines burst and the sap turns into steam, and a lot of the effects of the flame aren't as they don't start spreading, they don't start burning.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that happens,
Hold on, I have a second attack.
wait.
Oh.
So there's this burst of fire, and hear Sam say, "Warning: the climate control system has detected a temperature spike. Countermeasures deployed." So I believe you, Mara, the Mound, Ghufran. I think everybody except Girafa has to make a dexterity saving throw right now.
Oops.
Including Keldav?
Yeah, you're within 10 feet of Siege.
I have advantage.
That's
Saving
the
throw.
top, right?
Addition 17.
What do I have to roll?
Dexterity saving throw.
saving throw.
Okay, for
Let me know if
Okay, that was awful. Saving throw.
Okay. I have advantage, right?
yeah.
Saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Johan rolled a 17. Oh no, not a 17. A 7.
Ooh,
3 plus 4. So yeah. And the Ari Mark 1. Ooh, nice. But he has. So plus 2. So that's 24 Ari Mark 1.
excellent. Because
22
this,
for Keldav.
And the
Excellent.
homunculus has evasion. So
yeah,
if
takes no damage.
yeah.
Actually, if you succeed, you take no damage, as right above the area where Siege hit with the axe, there's the light turns pale blue, and there's a wave of cold that spreads out. I think Johan failed, got under a 13. Ghufran, what did you get?
17.
You got a 16, you're fine. Maravilla, what did you get?
18.
18. So only Johan and the Mound
I have
are
19.
caught in this wave of... You got a 13 exactly?
19.
19, you're fine. So the Mound and Johan are both covered by a layer of frost that then quickly begins to melt in the sunlight that still fills the room, as you take 13 points of cold damage.
13
this
points
burst.
of cold damage.
Sorry, are you counting the +5 to saving throws that I grant you?
Oh,
No.
right.
Oh.
You have that now.
Yeah.
So
what's
7
the
plus
radius?
5
What's the radius?
is 12.
My radius is 10 feet. All friendly creatures.
So Mara wouldn't get it.
No.
No,
Yeah,
but
but it doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
At
by
12
one.
it still
Can
affects.
you put
got to
Can
12.
you put the area in roll 10 and 20?
Yeah, 10 radius. You can check the radius here. There you go. That's 10 radius. So, how much damage?
13 points of cold damage.
13
Uh,
points of
Yeah,
cold damage.
and you see the same spread over the mound, but again, there's so much water in the vines of the mound that some of it bursts, and you see some cracks appear on the surface, but not as much as Johan took.
Is it okay if I turn it on, the aura, so you can see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Siege, that was your first attack. You
Yeah.
realize what just happened? And so, what do you do now?
So she is so mad. I'm sorry, guys. Second attack with reckless, and that's good because was a natural one. 17 plus 8.
Definitely hits. You're using the
Okay.
the flaming axe again?
I'm still using the battle X.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. So it's 8, 13 slashing plus 4 fire.
So you see, like, Siege starts hacking away at the mound. The fire is having little impact. It is burning slightly around the wounds that you're creating. As you slash down again with the axe, there is another burst of pale blue light. I need everyone to make another dexterity saving throw. Feel free to add the bonus that Ghufran provides now.
Okay, for me,
19
okay.
total again.
So
a 10 plus 4 plus 5, so 19. And for my cat. Okay, not that bad. Then let me check.
The cat gets the bonus, I think.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, it gets. Oh, nice.
so
Please, cat, don't die.
with that, with the aura, I rolled a total of 30.
Oh shit.
Amazing.
13 for the cat.
13 for me as well.
So you guys just passed it, which means that the cat remains alive, in as much as it has any life. The two bursts of ice you see also cover the large tree that is right next to the mound, and the some of the bark starts to crack. Siege, do you
I
move?
rolled
No, I
6.
6.
I rolled 6.
You suffer 20 points of cold damage as the second burst covers Mara.
What?
Yeah, I rolled really high on 46.
Oh my
I rolled
god.
2 6s and 2 4s.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
I don't know how to activate auras in roll 20. I need to activate the my 10-foot aura.
Press the
Double-
token. And then
Double
you have
click
the-
in the token. Abajo.
So you're going into a rage?
I was in rage. Oh
Ah,
shit! I forgot the 3 additional
Yeah, add the
damage.
yeah. Where? Yes.
So it's a 10-foot radius with a cold. Okay. Okay.
So I think yeah. Everybody also got 3 temporary hit points.
It's in the next turn, as I believe, not in the same.
Okay.
It's in the same if you activate it.
It's in the
Yeah,
same.
I think when you go
Yeah.
into a rage, yeah, you get it.
Okay, so everyone except the cat got the 3 temporary hit points.
What do you have against my cat, man?
It's your cat.
So that means that Mara only took 17 points of cold damage.
This was before the first, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first thing that I did
No,
was
I
the
took
rage.
less damage because I got the buff, then
Yeah.
I got hit it. So
Correct. So
I healed myself.
you're good.
Okay.
Do you move, Siege?
No, I'll
Or
be.
stay put?
I'll stay put.
Okay, so the ice forms all around in lots of the trees and bushes that are in the garden. The large tree that is next to the mound, you see bark starts cracking and a face forms in the cracks, and a mouth appears under it, and a voice yells, "Intruders!" And you hear Sam go, "Oh dear." So
Yeah,
now
tell me about it.
you see the tree starts rising as well. You see roots, instead of spreading out along the ground the way that the mound had done, these roots sink deep into the ground, and you see some of the smaller trees and some of the bushes along the periphery start shaking and start pulling themselves up from the ground. this one in particular gets a bit bigger. Mara, you see as one sort of starts pulling itself up and grabs another branch, and one of its branches starts forming into a sharp point. But that's what it's doing for its turn. The rest of you see movement along all of the bushes and trees around the periphery in several, like a half a dozen spots. Mara, it's your turn now.
I'm going to run to the door. Here. Here. Ah, it doesn't work. To the door of the other side, opposite side.
Sure.
I don't know where my... Here,
You can't move your token?
I want to run there.
Sure. You're running past this spindly branch creature that had just pulled itself up, lashes out at you with a stab. It's not very accurate. Yeah, it misses you completely as you go running past. You do run past some of the branches of the mound, some of the vines on the ground, and that reaches out to snare you as you step by it.
Can you block that?
Again, these are all missing.
Okay.
You guys have high armor class. So Mara, you're able to run right past all of them. You get to that door,
Try
and
to open
Sam.
the door.
Yeah, it's locked, and you hear Sam say, "The key opens both doors. You could try and force it,
I'm going to
'Cause you don't
force it.
have-
I'm going to
you
grab
don't have
my...
thieves' tool."
No, I'm going to grab my warhammer and bang that door down to go through. My mace.
Sure.
Sorry. Oh no, what my... Wait,
yeah,
I
your
have a
forceful
plus
mace.
2? Yes, that one.
I'm gonna say make an athletics check with advantage.
I don't want to.
Or no, actually, yeah, if you want to straight up attack it, just make an attack.
Okay. I'm afraid. Okay, an attack.
Just a straight attack. It's not difficult to hit, but it is iron. Oh yeah, you definitely hit. Is that a natural 20?
Yes, it's a natural 20.
Yes!
Beautiful.
Okay. Roll 4d6 force damage.
That fucking door is done.
The power of Moradin compels you, door.
You can roll the damage as a critical if you right click over the damage. Remember.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I'm going to roll again. So,
Ooh.
So the
nine?
sixes
Nine
are 10, and before so 15 plus 4, 19 points of damage is what I'm seeing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you realize it's locked. You rope back with your mace. You slam. You guys are on the other side. You can't see Mara on the other side of the plant life that is rising up. You hear a loud gung, 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 and you see the heavy iron door shake, and some dust falls from the ceiling. And there is a big dent in one of the two doors, and you can see as some of the iron is bent in. You think one, maybe two more hits like that, you would bust through it completely.
I'm going to use another. I'm going to attack again with my warpiece feature.
Yeah.
And 53.
Definitely hits. You aim again for the dent that you're starting to put in that door.
8.
8 more points of damage. Your mace actually bursts through the surface of the door. You have a small gap that you can see. You can see
Wait,
now
I
on the
have
other
to
side.
Sorry, I have to roll another
Another d6. Yeah.
D6. Mhm. Oh. I'm going to roll it here.
Sure.
4.
That's
So
12 with that
12
attack?
total.
Yeah.
12.
So you've done 31 points of damage to this door. There's now a gap. Probably you could stick your hand through. You're like the head of your mace went straight through, and you pulled back. So basically, all you have to do now is like one more hit, and that thing would just open completely. Like
That's it.
you've gone through
Perfect.
almost all of the door. Excellent.
Mhm.
Keldav, you've seen chaos start to erupt in the room. No traps in the door, but clearly lots of plant life that is disturbed now inside.
Keldav will use his free action to feel disappointment.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does Keldav recognize the big guy behind the mound?
It looks vaguely familiar.
Mhm.
It's not a full treant that you've seen.
Yeah.
Like these walking trees
Yep.
that shepherd the forest, but it's something like that. It's clearly aware. It considers this greenhouse in some way its territory. Like it mouthed it like it yelled a word in common. It yelled intruders.
This is a weird question. Would I recognize that as a type of word a treant would use?
No, you would expect a treant to speak Sylvan or Elven or not common.
Yeah. So Keldav will imagine this is a fucking abomination that the magic people did. Like this is not forest like folk. Once again, I need to shit. Okay, I will. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask the into the treant. No, fuck it. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna attack that fucking tree. Sorry, that was a lot of not doing anything. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
rolled 20. Fuck.
Hits.
5. Sorry. 25, and that would. Sorry.
Are you attacking the tree or the mound?
The tree.
Okay.
The tree's the one that talked. I always
Yes.
attack the person that talks.
You seem smart. Die.
Yeah, what's that logic?
It's a good logic.
The logic is you kill first the leader, then you demoralize everyone else.
But you could speak to the thing that talks.
No. That fucking thing is an abomination.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't a good roll. The 16 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. You fire your arrow and you see like it sinks into the wood, but the wood is denser, or some of the magic animating it is protecting it, because like you fired arrows into trees a lot.
Yes.
You're familiar with how powerful your shot is. It sinks maybe halfway into this animated tree than you would expect.
I'm gonna shout, "We need to move!" And I'll attack one more time, stepping back. So basically, Yesra will move back. I will step back one more time, and I will shoot one more time.
Yeah. This is basically close range for you. You have no
Yeah,
problem.
So, 26
Hits.
I rolled very good. What the fuck? I rolled with a D8. The first one I rolled a 1. Now I rolled a 2. So that's 7 points of damage.
Again, you plant your arrow right next to your previous shot. Again, like the metal point goes in, and barely any of the rest of the arrow does. All right. Now the mound starts spreading its vines. It's recoiled from the axe hits that Siege had sent towards it, so it lunges in that direction. So that's with advantage, I believe, because you used reckless.
Yeah.
So that's delightful.
Come on.
That's a word you can use for that.
Come on. I can take it.
19.
Just hit. It's 19 in my
Okay.
AC.
Yes, this is what I was waiting for. So, Ghufran, do you want to do something to that hit?
Is he in siege?
Yeah. One of
Yeah,
these
come on.
large masses of vines.
Come on, siege, you can take it.
Yeah. So one of them hits you over the head and knocks you back. There's a second one coming, and that one just bounces off your arm without any impact, and without any noticeable impact to you. So, yeah, you're raging. You'll be fine. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced to 2?
Used to 2 or 4 in total?
Used to 2. Used to 2.
It didn't break even my temporal.
Yeah. How? Yeah, that seems very low, but that's what happens. Wait. 13. I think... Hold on. I don't think those are the right stats for this creature, because it says on average 13 damage, but that's not... I think something
Okay.
went screwy with my extension. So it might be a bit more.
More damage or to hit?
Yeah, more damage.
Ah, it's okay.
Yeah, 4 was
Yeah.
a little bit.
I'm gonna have to disable the beyond 20. Yeah, it's 2d8 plus 4,
Oh,
not 2d6 plus 1 for some reason. Also, it's also more accurate, so it might have had a better chance at hitting you, but its other roll was a 17 total, which I believe does not hit you. So it's 6 plus 4, 10 reduced to 5.
oh okay, okay.
That's more like it.
So 84 now.
Yeah. That's annoying. Okay. And now, from the bushes around, you see lots of tiny... These look almost like little saplings. They're maybe a foot high. Start coming out and nipping at your heels. You see they have like sharp branch fingers that are beginning to, like, they're trying to stab through your boots. And one crawls out towards Ghufran, one towards Johan, and the other
Uh-oh.
towards Siege. Yeah, these are tiny little tree creatures. Both miss against Johan and Ghufran. The one against Siege is trying to...
Have an advantage.
Yeah, but despite that, it's probably... Yeah, this one makes sense. It's only, yeah, 18 to hit is not bad. Like, this got pretty lucky, but I believe still doesn't get through your armor.
No.
You can feel these like sharp wooden like points trying to stab into your leg and failing. And that's it for their turn. Back up to the top, Johan.
Okay, Johan is looking at his fucking landing launcher and how ineffective is. So he's gonna grab rapidly through. He's gonna rummage through his back, o sea, his back. So he's gonna grab some a vial that is empty. He's gonna
Mhm.
throw it like right here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Shatter.
Oh.
Who needs to be a wizard? Well, me, maybe. I don't know.
So that's Constitution saves.
Constitution 17.
Ooh, that's an 18 for the big tree. That's a bit lower for the mound. That's a 15 for the mound, so that's a failure. And the little tree things are not very. Ooh, but that one got a 19, and the other one got a 6. So the big that needle blight that was there gets completely shattered by the burst of sound.
I'm
Roll
gonna
the damage for the mound and the tree, though the tree takes half.
yeah. That's 2 plus 7, so 9, and plus 5, so 14. 14 thunder damage.
Excellent. You see, as the mound, the wave of thunder rolls over it, and parts of it begin to burst from the vibration. Some of its vines that it was trying to lift up to hit Siege, it loses enough strength that that piece just falls off, and it's looking quite diminished. Like most of its vines and tendrils are like lying around it
Mhm.
as it's falling apart.
And I'm gonna say, "Come on, Ari, hit it again!" And with my bonus action, I commanded Ari Mark 1 to hit it again.
Okay. Also, please roll a d6 for me.
Ooh, okay. This is gonna be fun. A 1.
Nothing happens.
Fuck. So
But you do hear Sam go, huh?
18 for the cat.
That hits
So
whoever you're targeting, the mound or the tree.
the mound. Yeah. So 3 plus 6 points of force damage as the cat opens the mouth again and shoots a laser.
The laser impacts. Parts of its mouth now start falling. Some of the sharp wooden spikes that form its teeth start falling apart and leaving gaps within. Some like splinters of bone that were trapped inside start crumbling down onto the ground.
And it's going to back further away.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna eye
Does
to the.
Johan move?
No, Johan's gonna stay.
Okay.
I want to be.
Ghufran.
Okay, so I go for the big thing. Like it's not really paying any attention, so I'm going to hit it. But I think, can I move around it? Like, can I move through Johan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 5, 10.
That much effort. Some like the scrambling little creatures that are made out of sticks and branches are like clawing at you as you move away, but
Okay.
can't claw through your plate armor.
Shoot! And then I hit the thing twice. Let's see what happens. Come on. That's 20.
Ooh, that hits.
Cool. So damage, damaggio, and that's 20. Okay, that's 15 points of damage.
Excellent. You slice Lightbringer through. More of these vines burst. Sap explodes into the air. The many limbs that it had are now lying on the ground. It's basically now just a mouth and one vine that is sort of lifting up and trying to figure out which way it's going to try and protect itself from attacks.
Go
still have-
away! And I hit it again.
If only it could understand languages.
Yeah. If only. Okay, that's a 21 to hit. And that's 11 points of damage.
You slice through the remaining tendril that was on top, and you see as it shivers and that collapses on top of the mouth, and the mouth loses cohesion as wooden teeth start falling all over the place. It lands. There's a wet slop as it spreads over, and you see as it stops moving, and it's like just now a mound of loose vegetables and vines and leaking sap that is on the ground there.
I told you so! And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So you, because at 15 Sam also speaks and goes, "Excellent. I still recommend exiting quickly." Siege, now it's your turn.
Okay. Can I walk here? No, here.
Yeah, you can step over sort of the squelching, the vines. They're like they still have some like humidity as you're stepping through, and they're squishing under your feet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk here and here. And I will take the attack opportunity of the little
Yeah,
thing
the little. The twig blight is like scratching at you. 14 plus 3, 17.
No.
Again, most of the time, like these would be like sharp wooden needles, like going into legs, but the metal that protects Siege is too strong.
here. Okay. Bonus action, my aura. So Mara got the 3 temporal hit points. Sorry for Ghufran and Johan. I got it too. Yeah. And I'm going to turn off the fire effect of the axe and attack only with the... That's because I saw Mara get hit and I feel so guilty.
Yeah, that second explosion of cold was
I forgot reckless attack, so it's 17 plus 8.
hits.
And it's d10 plus 5. It's 6, 11.
11 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
As
Sorry.
your axe-
No, plus 3. 11 plus 3,
So 14?
14.
14 points of slashing damage
Yeah.
as your axe bites deep, and I mean you're using an axe to cut a tree down. It's pretty easy.
Well, I figure that good talking plants, an axe will be fine.
A flaming axe.
That was my original idea.
A proper tool for the job.
Yeah. So 13 plus 8, so it's 21.
That hits.
5, 10, 12 points of damage.
12. You like cut through, and now there's a big like wedge that you've cut into the trunk of the tree, and you realize probably a couple more turns you could slice through the whole tree and make it topple.
I will say, lloraré who. That's all.
Interesting. So these little twig creatures move around. They move past Johan. One of them leaves your area to get around to Ghufran. If you want to try and kick it, I'm not sure what your melee attack setup
No.
is right now.
I'm going to save my reaction in case anything comes.
Johan, do you?
No. I don't wanna embarrass myself.
Okay. So one takes a swing at Ghufran. 13 misses. Two try and claw at Siege. With a 19 plus 3, one of them finally hits. For,
Ouch.
I believe, a d4 plus 1.
I was
These are
waiting
tiny.
for.
Ooh, 4! 5 points of
Oh
piercing
yeah!
damage.
Half.
Halved to 2. As finally the little twig creature jumps onto your leg, and you feel as its needle-like fingers bite deep into your leg, and it's kind of annoying.
If you hold,
I will check
Alt-
the leg. Go away. Go away.
Yeah.
if you
Basically.
hold Alt, Daniel, you can put it right near Siege. The token, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
What?
like I did with
Whoa.
no the
Yeah,
little-
in roll 20.
yeah.
Because they default to the corner of the.
Yeah,
So
If you-
with Alt, you can move it so it's there.
a little bit closer.
Yeah. And that's the little Blight's turns. Now the tree is moving around. The only thing that's attacked it is Siege and, well, Keldav, but it's pretty far away. So you see as one of the branches sort of swings around towards Siege. Unfortunately, you did not go reckless last time, so this is less likely to hit. But it does swing
I
twice.
win? Yeah, yeah.
You,
It was
you did
reckless.
go reckless?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh, finally. So that's a 22 to hit with the first one,
Ow.
and another 22 to hit with the second one. So 2 hits with its heavy branches. The first one is 16 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to 8.
Wow.
As it slams into your side, and you realize, like, yeah, you were biting in deep with your axe, but this thing is quite a bit bigger than you, so when it starts swinging back, it's carrying a lot more weight. And then 7 plus 6 is 11, plus another 6 is 17. So 17 points of bludgeoning damage,
Half.
which is, yeah, again,
16.
half to
8.
Yeah. So you took like 2
Oh shit.
heavy blows. Yeah.
By the way, 7 plus 6 is not 11. I'm
No?
just saying you missed 3.
Ooh.
Right. 7 plus 6 is 13. So
Sorry, kid.
that was 13, 19. So 9 points of bludgeoning damage. So 8 and 9.
Okay. I'm fine.
Yeah. And it spent its turn hitting things instead of summoning more of the little things. So that's the trans turn. Maravilla, it's your turn again. As a bunch
Thank
of
you.
commotion has happened behind you.
I know. I'm hitting the door again.
Sure, it's almost open. Like, you're confident you can get this done.
Oh, 12.
12 to hit. You're like trying to aim. You're trying to make sure that the gap that you put in extends towards the opening in between the 2 doors so that you can force it open. And you try for a glancing blow, but it's too shallow, and it just bounces off the metal of the door.
I'm going to spend again.
Yeah, War Priest.
I'm going to attack again.
Yeah, this time you take more careful aim. You rear back, slam in with your forceful mace. 2d6
2
plus 4.
plus, and my other 6. 4 again. 10 total.
10 total. You swing back, you slam into the doors. You hear the rending of metal as the bottom of the doors separates, and then you hear as the wave of force is released by your mace, and one of the doors is blown open, and is now has also like a fairly big hole, and the other is moved slightly ajar. So you've managed to open the door, and you can run out that way.
I ran in.
Sure. And there's a long stairs
Oh.
leading
I
out.
Wow.
step here And I scream, come on, the door is open.
Sure. There's no problem. You step onto the stairs. You see that area is mostly in shadow as the sun is setting on the other side of the mountain. Keldav, it's your turn. As you see, this big tree is slamming into siege, and Mara has managed to open the door on the other side.
Everybody move! I'll be right behind you. I'll make Giretha.
Mhm.
Sorry. So she's gonna go through,
Mm-hmm.
giving me an advantage on my hits on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody has seen me in battle teleporting, so
Yeah.
I imagine everybody understands that I'm saying like move. I'll be right behind you, but like everybody get out, and I'll shoot 2 times at the weird asshole we have there. First attack. I do not believe that hits at 13. Does not hit. I'll use my bonus action attack.
No.
You fire the arrow, and it just bounces off the bark of the tree, which makes you realize that thing's magical. Like,
Yeah.
you've hit a dozen trees. That was a dead-on hit. That should have pierced. What was the second one?
The second one is 25.
Yes. That is like, I'll show you. And this time you place it right next to the other 2 arrows that you managed to sink in.
You abomination.
Yeah.
I will hit with my...
Oh.
So 17 points of damage, and I'll keep on yelling like move, 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 move.
You can see some of the bark now that you've landed 3 arrows. You place the third one in, and a chunk of the bark falls out, and some of the softer wood under it is also starting to splinter out. So you've been wounding it with your arrows, despite the fact that it seems to be fairly resistant to piercing. So that's Keldav. The mound is dead. The little twig blights. The one that had been successful against siege is going to keep going. The other one is going to move to Johan, and the one that's been trying to claw at Ghufran is also going to do so.
You have
Johan and
advantage.
Ghufran, they're not attacking siege yet. So
Okay.
the one against Ghufran finally rolled a 19, which means a d4, 3 points of piercing damage as you feel sharp, like the claws of a newborn cat sinking into your calf.
Okay, and I think those 3 points take away
Yeah,
the
were the
3
temporary hit points.
points I had.
And now it's siege with advantage. 17 plus 3 is 20, which I think manages to get through the 19 armor class that siege has.
Yeah.
For 3 points of piercing damage, reduced to 1.
Ow.
Yeah. As you have like the tiniest little insect bite feeling in your leg. Back up to the top, Johan.
Johan.
The tree is looking hurt, but it's still standing. And you saw how it hit siege. Like, it hits like a truck.
I'm gonna
you
look
know
at
what
my
those-
lightning
yeah.
launcher. I'm gonna look at the mount. I'm gonna shoot it.
Sure.
So here we go. 12 plus 8, 20.
Hits.
Okay, let's see how much damage is this. 3 plus 5.
8 points of lightning damage as you release the energy. It arcs into the bark. You see it scorches, and some of the bark goes flying, and you see under it some sawdust as the explosion pulverized some of the wood of its body. It seems to take the full effect that you would expect from your powerful
Okay.
launcher.
Okay, so I'm gonna add the feature that that
Yeah,
my lightning
additional
launcher.
damage.
Yeah. So it takes an additional 3, and I'm gonna attack it again because yay!
Yeah,
I can
lift
do
up
it.
the other arm, fire,
16.
just hits.
Okay,
As you're
so
trying to aim at some of the parts where the bark is exposed,
ooh,
you release the bolt of lightning.
11
Nice.
points of lightning damage, and now
This time, it
Mhm.
hits into the side where the bark had exposed some of its flesh, and you see as it scorches, it conducts through to the arrows that Keldav had placed in its side, and Keldav, you see as one of your arrows explodes and it leaves a gaping hole in the tree as it had shorted electricity through those 2 points, and as you see the tree go, and you hear crunching as some of its weight is getting redistributed so as not to collapse under its own weight.
okay, and finally I'm going to say to my cat, finish it, Ari, and move it and fucking laser. Pew.
If Ari finishes him, it'd be fucking beautiful.
Let's hope.
Poetic.
18
18 does hit.
max damage. That's a D4.
No way.
So yeah, 7 points of force damage.
You take aim, you realize most of its weight is it has a large head with lots of branches and foliage. You guys have been hitting center mass, and most of what was once its heavy, large trunk has been splintered away. You aim with the bolt of force released by your homunculi. It hits, splinters go flying out. The large tree sways, but remains intact and attempting to move and attack you.
Nice. And I'm gonna move here. Why the fuck not? I'm just gonna move to Mara. Yeah. I don't care. He can hit me if he wants.
Yeah. As you're moving past, you see one of the branches swings around towards you. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
I take the damage.
Excellent. So, Johan, you see this, you hear the creaking of this branch coming towards you, and right as you realize, oh, well, this is going to hurt, but like you've got resources to heal yourself, you hear a resounding as Ghufran launches herself 10 feet across to block the heavy impact with the avenging warden. That's, jeez, that's 11 plus 6. That's 17 points of bludgeoning damage, Ghufran. That like you feel as it races up your arm and into your shoulder, but you've activated the avenging warden, which means you can now, as part of this reaction, attack the large tree.
Oh, that's a 13 to hit.
13 to hit does not. You try and swing your Lightbringer, but yeah, your shoulder is seizing with the pain, and it knocks you off balance, and you can't quite bring yourself to cut through the branch that just gave you a decent bruise.
Okay. To finalize my turn, Ari is going to move behind Sit.
Sure. Floating around. You see this tiny, like, little creature made out of branches clawing at Siege's leg, and this flying metallic cat fluttering above his shoulder. Excellent. And with that, Ghufran, it's now your turn. As you lower the shield...
Yeah, I say, Sam, did you mean by cleaning the garden to kill this thing or not?
At this point, it's a big enough mess that it would have to start over. You can go ahead and finish it off.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, friend. And I hit it with the Lightbringer. Let's see if I hit it actually. That's a 19 to hit. That's a
Holy
27.
That definitely hits.
Finish it.
Okay, and that's how much? 15 points of radiant damage.
How do you want to do this?
Okay, now I just put the Lightbringer through it, and I say, "Go to sleep, go to sleep," and I gently try to make it falling down into the ground.
So you stab Lightbringer in. Instead of burning away at the wood and bark that animates the trint, you see the light spread into it, and there's a moment where the angry face sort of relaxes, and the heavy roots that it had used to stand up sink back into the ground. You hear grinding of wood as the weight settles on the very small chunk of trunk that you guys left, and the face relaxes, and the lines that created the eyes, the mouth, disappear, and all that's left is smooth bark, and the branches and leaves atop shake and settle back into now a normal tree. Like this, the radiant energy that Ghufran released into it appears to have dissipated the animating force that was moving the tree, and that had caused it to react to such hostility to all of you.
What about the little twigs?
Yeah, Siege. As you see, like this thing is trying to claw into your leg. Suddenly, you're shaking your leg, and you hear, and you look down, and there's just a spattering of twigs on the ground as they collapse into dry sticks.
I will look at the cat and say, I take it. It was
The
mine.
cat is going to open its mouth, and you are going to hear Johan's voice saying, meow. I put one of my magical tinkering that I can record a message. So yeah.
Wonderful. So, as you guys now have the door to the greenhouse open, you see it leads outside to a staircase that wraps around the side of the mountain and goes up to presumably a second floor. The setting sun behind the mountain illuminates faraway clouds, and this side of the mountain is currently in shadow, which contrasts significantly with the bright sunlight of the greenhouse that some of you are still standing in. You see there are alcoves on the side of the mountain, the wall, and in each of those alcoves there are metal statues that have heavy rectangular shields and swords that are pointed down with just the hilt visible over the rim of the shield. You see there's maybe a half dozen of these alcoves all along the edge of the wall as it continues to curve upward and disappears from sight. You can see there's a wooden guardrail opposite the rock wall, and beyond it you can hear the rushing sound of water from a river that is far below you. And as you look at this staircase leading up to wherever Sam has their own special project that they want to show you, that is part of their plan to be free, that's where we'll end tonight and finish the workshop watches next time.
Wait, I wanted to know where's the dead guy. The
I was
dead
gonna.
guy was going.
I was gonna investigate that. So next session.
So
Okay.
yeah,
time,
you're
yeah.
able to figure out probably that's where they died, and probably some of the bones and things that were in the mouth of the shambling mound were the body of the dead guy, and probably responsible for its growth and its carnivorous appetite.
Okay.
Woo.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Very good session.
Yeah.
So we are ending the transmission video. I don't know.
Yeah. So any last message? No?
No, see ya, motherfuckers.
Bye.
Well,
See ya.
see you on the next time. Bye.
Adios.